3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to, well, we've had sloppy seconds, so this must be terrible thirds. I've never seen anybody go and just get changed to put on his show clothes right at the last minute like Reece. Looking very smart, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Although to me, you looked all right in what you were wearing before, but, you know, there we go.
A bit more professional.
Well, having said that, you had a Leicester shirt on, so probably you were quite right. Welcome along, everybody, to Fox's Forum 2. Interestingly, Clibbo has declined to appear tonight, which I think is him admitting, really, that his nephew knows more than he does.
He won't like that.
Oh, no, his exact words were, I don't really know anything about managers. Reece is the one for this. So, to me, Clibbo, you just got owned. You really have. We always wondered who had the better knowledge, didn't we?
Oh, come on, that's not even a contest, is it?
Well, I can say that he's not here, you know. Craig's in. Hi, Craig. How you doing? So basically what we're going to do today is we've done sort of why Marty had to go, what's next for the club. We're now going to be doing who's next for the club. Welcome back, Blue Fox. And what we're going to do is look at about 7 or so front runners, and then we'll have a chat about some of the others, and Reece will come up with his wild card. So, that could be interesting. Right, I'm going to put this one up to start with, and people may look at this and go, what you doing here? I just want to show you that Martin O'Neill is a manager that everybody says, oh, we should have him back, etc., etc. We've asked him back a couple of times, apparently, and he's always turned us down, interestingly. But what I just want to say is, when you look at some of these that are coming up, before we signed him, he, that was his managerial experience until he joined us. Grantham Town, Shep Shed Charterhouse, Wycombe Wanderers. He was at Norwich City for about a week, if you remember, and then he came to us. And he wasn't that bad a manager for us, was he?
No, he wasn't. I think he was the start of the good times for the club. 2 League Cups, another League Cup final, European football, and just proper setting the Leicester DNA in terms of that Foxes never quit attitude. So, wasn't a bad manager at all, was he?
No. Yeah, and I think the thing you got to remember is that, and I've put that up there because when we bring a couple of the nominations, if you like, forward, and people turn around and go, well, he's not got a lot of experience, or why are we getting him from the lower leagues? I will just say, Martin O'Neill, I rest my case.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. We will see who is coming up. On that one, but I just thought, we've got to stop. And look, we're not going to get into the we're a big club, aren't we? A big club argument again. I think some of the fans. So I mean, I've won once. I don't want to win it again.
No, we didn't win. Come on, Chris.
You reckoned it was 2-1 to you because Clibo agreed with you, but like I say, as owner of the channel, I actually have 3 votes, so I won 3-2. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not biased at all. But no, all I'm saying is, like, for some of the fans, let's not be so entitled and let's consider everybody is the thing. And we have to get this one right, as we know. Now, the first one, well, we know where we're going to go with this one. Andy King. The odds today across 4 different betting sites, and we always have to say money's not the answer. So when the fun stops, stop, and all that. But those are the odds. They range from 5-2 to 8-1. No managerial history. Apparently, I haven't actually had a chance to see it yet because I was doing a show earlier. But apparently, he did a very good press conference. But as I said, and I shot Wayne down a little bit, but as I said, actions speak louder than words. If he comes out tomorrow with the same formation, I'd kind of understand, but the same players, then I'm thinking, well, what's the point? Might as well have kept hold of Marty.
Well, funny enough, I spoke to Uncle Clibber about this, and we both agreed that I would not be surprised if he did that, if he kept the likes of RU and players like that in there, Ricky P and players like that. But I'm just hoping that he's go back to his pre-season roots and actually trust the youth a little bit here, because kind of the likes of Aluko, Mongar, Page, they've all grown. They've all grown, and they've gained more experience as the season's gone on. So hopefully that will give him more faith to put them in. And to be fair, with the injuries we've got in midfield, I don't think he's going to pick Winks tomorrow. And obviously, Booba Samare's gone now. I think he will stick the likes of Page in there because I think he does trust him to do that job. I think he will stick Aluko in there as well because I think he believes in him as well. And I think Monga has to play. So if he gets those sort of 3 players in there to fit in the team, then I'll be more than happy with that. So I'm just hoping he sticks to his guns. He's a bit arrogant and go, no, I'm going to pick these boys. They've been great for me growing up and they've not let me down so far. So I'm going to stick my neck out and play them.
Totally. And look, this is what I came up with earlier in our preview pick and mix show. Ignore the arrows because that's basically just saying where you'd expect them to go and cover and what have you. But I've gone for 3-5-2. Now I've got Berkovic in goal because I think we need to take Stolarczyk out of the limelight. I've got a back 3 of Akoli, Vestergaard, and Nelson, but I don't want Vestergaard defending high up the field. He should stay back and almost that sweeper role. What is the advantage of him going? Yes, for corners, that's different. But the rest of the time, what's the advantage of him going up? Because he can do a superb pass from our penalty box. He doesn't need to go any further out. So keep him back there because he is our best defender. I honestly believe that. And he can just stay back as that one defender, because we get caught out so much. And then Akoli and Nelson. Now, I have got Fatawu and Mavididi on the wings because I went back to, the first season in the Championship. I thought, did a good job of defending. So I think get them back again. Like I say, and then it'd be 5, but you've got the cover if they get caught out. Chaudhry is that defensive midfielder. And then you've got Page and Golding I've brought in for the 2 just in front. But again, if Fatawu sort of kicks the ball long, Page and Golding can move out. Mavididi has been staying for ages in that number 10 role. And Dakova Reed in that number 9 role just in front of me. He's the only guy that seems to know where the back of the net is. And the thing I liked when I did this was the fact that you can see the players in the goal. The spine of the team is all experienced players. Now, I don't think Andy King will go for that because I think he'll stick with his 4-2-3-1, unfortunately. But what are your thoughts, just quickly?
Well, just starting with the Vestergaard thing. I mean, that's where he was most successful under Enzo. He was the base of the back three. He picked up the ball, he made the line breaking passes, and then you had JJ one side, and you had Wild Fast the other, and they had the pace to cover him. And it worked a treat. We won the league with it. So as long as you've got pace either side of him, which Okoli and Nelson, obviously, I don't think Nelson's the quickest, but he's got some. He's all right. Okoli's the quickest. Yeah, but as long as you've got pace either side of him, I think you can go with that back three sort of thing in possession, or even just a back three. The Abdul and Mavadidi, I personally would not go with that because I think they're in not great form. I actually would drop Fatawu for the game. I would drop Abdul personally. I think he needs a break. I think he's getting a bit too big for his boots. I think he thinks he's this Billy Big Bollocks sort of thing going on with him in the minute, arguing with his own players on the pitch. I think he needs to come out of the team. As for that number 9 with Bobby Reid, as long as he's got support, whether it's Monga or whether it's somebody else, I don't mind that because, like you say, I think he's the best finisher at the club. Natural finishing. I think he knows where the net is. I don't mind that. I would go with the back three. But I think you have to get a way to get Aluko in that right wing back position. He's got the pace. He was scoring goals in the under 23s as a right back. So if you can get him in that wing back role, get him up and down, he's got the energy to do it. I think you have to find a way to get him in that team. I would keep Mavadidi slightly further forward because he has got that bit of magic in him. Goldin, I'm not too sure. I think he needs to go either out on loan or keep doing what he's doing in the under 23s because he's in hot form.
Nobody knows, do we? Because we've never seen him. But he's like, he's not 16, 17. And when I looked at all the players that we had out in loan for a show I just did, the transfer roundup, most of the players that we've gone out, sent out, are 21 to 24.
Yeah.
So why not give him a chance? If he is shit, he's shit, but we'll never know.
No. Well, no, I think he was a bit of a PSR deal, like with the Dewsbury Hall sort of thing. But he was raved about at Chelsea's academy. He was their captain. He was the under 18s captain or something like that. So, and if you're under 18 captain for Chelsea Football Club, who are one of the biggest clubs in the world, then you must be a fucking good player. So why not give him a go? So what we can't do any worse at the minute, can we? So
this is the thing, isn't it? And can I just say, before anybody picks me up and says you've picked Samari and he's left the club, when I did this, we hadn't sold Samari, so that's why I've got him on the subs bench. But obviously he wouldn't be on the subs bench. It probably would have to be wings. But let's get back to Mr. King. So we're talking permanent here, and I'm not sure whether he's ready for permanent or not.
I agree. I don't think he's ready, but it depends what route the club wants to go. If they want to bleed all these young, talented kids coming through the academy, then I think this is the right man to do it. He's worked with them all, from young kids all the way up to the ages of 16, 17, 18, 19. He knows them all inside out. He knows what personalities they are, what they're like in training. And I think if you want to go that route, I think you have to give him the job because I don't think there's anyone else better to do it. And if it's like a long-term plan, you build these kids up. We're not going to get promoted straight away, but we build and build. And I think this is the man to do it. I think he's got the personality to stick up to the fans because obviously our fans get on the manager's back a lot.
Yeah.
He knows how to deal with the pressure of a Leicester City fan base. So that's another tick for me. And like all these other non-league managers, he's part of being a big-ish sort of club. We're a big club in the Championship, I think. So I think he has the personality. I think he has the arrogance. And I think he could do that job in, sticking up to the fans saying, no, we're going to stick to this. This is what I'm fucking doing. If you're with me, you're with me. If you're not, you're not. And I don't want to, that's the sort of personality he is, I think. So, yeah, it would be a tick for me if we want to go the young kids route and bring them through.
To be honest with you, we've got a 100 million quid odd training facility that's supposed to be producing this golden generation. At the moment, we only seem to be producing that golden generation for other clubs. So, but I think if he comes in, he's going to need a strong number two that's got history. And I don't mean Adam Sadler. I mean, what the fuck is he coming back for? Why have we brought Adam Sadler back in to help Andy King? Adam Sadler was shit when he was with us before. The time he took over from Brendan, what did he do? Pick the same formation and the same players. We might as well have kept Brendan another week. I mean, the guy he's up there with Wout Faes for taking somebody else's oxygen.
Well, I mean, it was part of the problem why we went down. So you're bringing failures back to the club, and I don't like that look at all. Like, we need to go a different route. If you want to go this direction, if you want to say, "Oh yeah, we're going to make change," why bring somebody? It's just because they know the club and stuff. I think it's a load of bullshit, to be honest with you. But I mean, it's not a good look. But yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And I mean, again, we've started off by agreeing. Now, I'm not asking you to actually say, yes, you would, he's the one or anything like that. What I'm asking you to say is, well, if he was picked, would you be happy or not? Or, would you be okay with it, or would you not want him anywhere near the club?
No, I'd be happy with him. I think that would show what direction the club want to go in if you're appointing him as a manager. So I'd be like, right, okay, if we're appointing this guy, then we want to go this route. So, and he knows these players inside and out, like I've just said before. So no, I'd be right behind him. I'd give him all of my support. I'd cheer his name every game because he deserves it. He's a club legend. Everything he's achieved with us. Putting sentiment aside, if you want to go that route, yes, I do think he's the right man for the job. But if we're going pound for pound, I'd say no. But I would be happy if he got the job, and I'd give him all my support.
In that case, I think we can actually say that is a... There you go. There you go. So the first one is a... wouldn't mind if it was him. Then that might be the last one for a while. But I think they see him as part of the future. But maybe sometimes it's like David Moyes. He'd have been better off going in as the manager who replaced the manager that replaced Alex Ferguson. Sometimes you don't need to be the one that follows them. And I think with Andy King, it might be his time next time, if you like. So he'll be with us, I think, for probably at least 4 games, and then hopefully stick with it till the end of the season, and maybe the new manager comes in and there's a slow handover. Right, coming up next.
Oh, fuck's sake.
His odds range, you can get 2-1 on him, or 5-1 at Sky or Paddy Power. His last team was Rangers. He was fancied at Leicester, let's face it, before... I've never known fans chant their hatred for a manager before he has even been appointed. But that happened with it, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, look, he done well at Southampton. I don't get I mean, I know they were following him when Brendan was in charge, so they obviously seen something in him then. But I mean, he went to Rangers in the Scottish League, and the quality there is not great, and he absolutely failed miserably hard. And I mean, we battered his teams 12-3 over 3 games. I mean, for goodness sake, he's stubborn. He won't change his philosophy. We need somebody that's going to have a plan A. But if that's not working, right, let's change it up a little bit and go to this sort of route. But I mean, for goodness sake, no. I don't need to say any more on this. No.
Lux is in. Hi, Lux and Blue Tinted. How you doing? Where is Fanny declaring his love for Willie Caballero? Sorry, I mean Manny. You do. I mean, I don't know how this guy keeps getting jobs, to be honest with you. after South. I mean, well, job at Rangers. I mean, Rangers is one of the biggest jobs in the United Kingdom. I think we have to accept that. How the hell did he get it after the performance and taking Southampton down? I know not. I know not. So I think we can definitely look at this one. And I have to say, I am in total agreement with you here. And this.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just going back to your original point, I don't know how he keeps getting jobs. Well, look at the style of football he tries to play. Tries to play this Pep style football, and clubs look at it and go, "Oh yeah, he's got the right idea. We want some of that." It's all about ticking a box, and that's why he gets jobs. No, fuck off.
Yeah. Interestingly, he was at Rangers for only 4 months. He is there's 3 clubs that he's been linked with. We are the shortest odds, as you can see there. He's 33-1 for Crystal Palace, and he's 33-1 for Newport County. So interesting, but like you said, not for you. In that case, Chris Coleman.
Okay.
Now we know him because he's been at OH Leuven. And I think he was unfairly sat there, to be honest with you, because it was on the case of one game, wasn't it, for Europe? That it was a qualification for Europe, and he did well to get them that far, in fairness. But for me, when I look at that, and it's like I used to sort of, as you know, I used to be manager and what have you, an area manager, and I used to do interviews. And if somebody came with a CV like that, I would be questioning it. Why is there so many jobs? Now, when I started off, I worked for Co-op, then I went to P&O, and then I went to WH Smith. Now, I was at WH Smith for a load of years, but I went from Leicester to Blackpool to Blackburn to Burnley. And I actually ended up just putting that as WH Smith. I didn't break it down because I think it just looks awful when you look at that. How many clubs is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Apparently, is it Asterios Tripilos at the moment, wherever that is. I can see why he's been linked. If he was as a short term to back up Andy King, I could understand, because obviously they've got the connection with Wales and what have you. But for me, I have to say that this is a no for me.
Well, that would be that would be my only argument for him. If he was back up to Andy King, just stand on big number 2. Richard's just said it there, big number 2. As to stand alongside Andy King, I could understand the club's thinking until the end of the season. If he got a 2 or 3 year contract, absolutely big fat no. Because you look at that resume and you look at the way modern football is going nowadays, it doesn't matter what resume you have. They look for what style of football you play, and and stuff like that. You look at that CV. Clubs nowadays don't go for that sort of CV. So, if he was appointed till the end of the season to back up Andy King, then I would consider it. I would consider it, but any more than that, absolutely not. So, but I'm going to go lean towards no on this one for me.
Well, see, we are talking permanent managers here.
Okay, but if it's permanent, then no, absolutely not.
All these that we're looking at are permanent positions, but it is. Okay. I wouldn't say no if it was, like I say, temporary.
I agree. I completely agree.
Again, we've agreed, mate. You're hearing that twice. I'm getting that back from somewhere. I don't know where, but So he did all right at Wales. Somebody once said to me, "Well, he did all right at Wales, but we know that being an international manager doesn't mean you're going to be a good team manager." Gareth Southgate. Do you know what I mean? And then you also know it's true though, isn't it? It's true.
Yeah, you're spot on. You're spot on.
Yeah, fucking
Absolutely
shit
spot on.
as a team manager, but I thought he was one of our best ever England managers. I know people would argue that. That's another story for another day, another show.
Yeah.
Chris Coleman did well, and it's just like, how often do a manager is so good, and then is appointed to be his national manager, and he can't do it. So the two don't always go together. But he's 3-1 and 7-1. You'll be pleased to know. And like I say, my worry is you've got the Wales connection and you have got the OH Leuven connection as well. Now, the next one we're going to look at in detail, Gary Rowett.
Okay.
So he's been at Burton Albion, Birmingham City, Derby County, Stoke City, Millwall, Birmingham City again, where he was unfairly sacked to bring in Wayne Rooney. And he was doing, they went from playoffs to relegation, didn't they, when Wayne Rooney came in? And obviously at Oxford United, where he kept them up last season. And Tom, who does this show with us sometimes, or does a show with us, is he's got family, so he's got kind of, a bit of a feeling for Oxford. And he thinks it was a disgusting decision. I particularly much do as well. You've obviously got the ex-Leicester thing. I tell you what, this guy wouldn't stand any nonsense.
He wouldn't. And going back to his early career in Burton and Birmingham, he got a lot of good PR, and he was tipped to be a highly rated manager. And I really liked him. But obviously, you look at his career since then. I thought after that Birmingham sacking, I thought he'd have gone to a bigger job. But obviously, he went to Derby, then Stoke, and then Millwall, and it's just been kind of not great. I do believe he wouldn't take any nonsense. He has got connections to the club. But for me, for what I'm looking for, it would be a no. I think, again, as a short term, I wouldn't mind it. But as a permanent manager, not for me. I don't think he plays a style of football that would appease the fans. And I just think, I don't think the players would take to him at all, unfortunately. Although I do like him as a bloke. I think he's a good man manager. But I think in terms of to go to the next level, I think he'd get stuck at a club like Leicester. So for me, it's a no.
Well, Blue says no, thank you. He was 1 year, 3 days with Oxford. As you can see there, his odds range from 5-1 to 11-2. I think when you look at his career, Birmingham, he probably wishes he was still there now, Derby, Stoke, they all kind of fall into the, if you like, sleeping giant sort of mould, don't they?
They do, but they also fall into that mid-table mediocrity as well. And I think, as you can see by that, that's how his career's sort of gone. I think we're above, in terms of club size, mid-table mediocrity. And I think we need to aim a little bit higher than this. And I think we could do a lot better than Gary Rowett. If he was given the job, I'd back him, because I think he's a good bloke. And I do think he has got some good tricks up his sleeve. But for me, in the long term, no. I'm sorry. Sorry, Gary.
Well, I would disagree with you on this one. Because long term, I think having problems with your wires there, mate. He's one of those that I'm not saying he would be top of my list, but a bit like Chris Wilder in the summer, I wouldn't necessarily be upset if he got the job. I mean, Clibbo said there, welcome, Clibbo. He decided to show his face, even though we decided, Clibbo, that you've admitted really that Reece knows more about football than you do, because you've allowed Reece to come on here. So obviously we've got the right person on. You know,
I didn't say that was Clibbo. I didn't say anything.
I've got the texts. I've saved them. And let me take you back, though. I mean, we're saying when we look at his career. Let me take you back to this guy. Oops, no, not that guy. To that guy. we would say if he was now, that situation was now, Leicester fans would say, no, thank you, we don't want Martin O'Neill. What's he done? Somebody said, if we are ambitious, yeah, but you've got to say, whoever's going to come in is going to look at this and go, fucking hell, they're in the shit. No, thank you. I won't touch them with a barge pole. This is what I say. We've really got to manage our expectations here. I don't agree with giving 3-year contracts. Any of these managers, for me, should just have a 2-year contract.
Yes.
And that is, hopefully, if we stay up this season. The thing about Gary is, Gary could come in and actually work alongside Andy King to learn about the squad, rather than just come in and take over. And then take over at the end of the season. If he wants to bring in his own number 2, that's fine. But then Andy King's also the number 2. Bit like, Shaky when Claudio came in. He had his own number 2, but Shaky was his number 2 as well. No, Martin said, you said Martin started the good times, didn't you? But no, certainly, sorry, Chris Coleman, we've done him. So certainly, I would say I wouldn't be upset if he got the job.
I would be upset. I wouldn't be upset. I would not be upset at all. I would back him to the hill because I like him. But I just don't think he's good enough for a club like Leicester. So
do you give him because as I say, we're looking at a manager who probably won't take us back to the good times. It will probably be the manager after this that does that, which may well be Andy King. So on that basis, is it a or is it a ping?
It's a for me.
There you go. There you go, everybody. Okay, we'll find somebody else that Reece likes in a minute. I'm sure there must be somebody on this list. Actually, I have probably picked a lot of the most controversial ones, in fairness.
Of course you have. Of course you have.
Yes, that's the idea. I don't want, where we agree on every one, and it's yes. And there's a long list, I'll tell you. You go onto these betting sites, there's a long list. Now, this one is at Lincoln City at the moment. Michael Scabula. 10-1 to 14-1. He was a caretaker manager. No, he wasn't a caretaker. He was a caretaker manager at Leeds United. And I know he might have done a sweep up as well. Who knows? And for the last 2 seasons, he has been at Lincoln City. So, what are your thoughts? He's 10-1 to 14-1, as I say. He's still at Lincoln City, so maybe compensation would have to be paid. He's been there 2 years, 2 months, and 17 days. He's also a 33-1 outsider at Palace, should Glasner go. He became the head coach of Leeds United Reserves and Youth Team following the exit of Jesse Marsh. He took on he's not been linked. He took on the role of caretaker manager for the first team, going 2-2 away at Man United in one of his 3 games in charge. I don't think he's doing too bad at Lincoln, is he?
He's not, no. And I can actually see, I've done my research on him, to be fair, and I actually can see why Top would appoint him as a permanent manager. He plays that possession-based football. He plays 2 formations that I absolutely love, 3-5-2, and obviously what we love, 4-4-2. And like I say, it's the most flexible formation you can use when you're in when you're playing football. He attacks with speed. He wants his teams to press, and he wants his team to have the ball. So I can understand why, like on paper, why you would go for him. My only problem with this one is, has he got the personality and has he got the character to be at a big championship club like Leicester? Going from Lincoln to Leicester is a big, big jump. Can he do it? Of course he could, because I don't know the bloke personally. I don't know enough about him. I have done my research, but I don't know a lot about him. But
let's do a well-known name. We don't know any of them. We didn't really know about Marty, did we, before we got him?
No. I mean, we only know snippets of when he was at QPR, really. But no, I can see why the club would want to appoint him. But my only big concern is, has he got the can he make that jump from a good? What league are they in? League One or two? Are they in League One?
League One. We could actually pass
they're
each other at the end of the season. They're actually second by 6 points. They haven't lost in 5. They've won 16 of the games. They have scored 47 compared to 29. But the argument is it's League One, obviously. But I go back and I'll just say, Martin O'Neill. These guys are going to be given a chance sometime.
In terms of Martin O'Neill, the game's changed since Martin O'Neill was.
No. What I'm saying is the way that, like I say, if I put Martin O'Neill up there now, everybody would say no. He hasn't got the experience.
No, I agree with you, but I'm just saying in terms of like football nowadays, the mentality and times have changed since those days. So that's what I'm trying to get across. But I understand your thinking. For me, I've come to my conclusion with this guy. I would be happy for him to get the job after the next manager we appoint, because I think he needs to learn his craft a little bit more at a higher level. If he gets promoted with Lincoln and he keeps Lincoln up, then I would push for him to be our manager. But now going from second in the League One at a small club like Lincoln to a big championship club like Leicester, I think is personally a step too far. So for the next permanent manager, it's a no. But the next one after that, I would appoint him if he keeps doing what he's doing.
The next one after that, we would hope, will be Andy King. But,
Well, I mean in football, but we'll see.
So you're going with...
I'm going with no. But I wouldn't be upset if he got the job. I would not be upset.
Right. Well, I'm disagreeing with you again, because I would take him. Of course I am. Yes. But I'm going to put a star next to the two for you, Rowett and Skabala, because you wouldn't be upset, although I'll put you down as a no. His win rate at Lincoln in just over 2 years is 45%, which is not bad. And I just think, again, like with all of these, you come in, if you bring your own staff with you, brilliant. But like I say, Andy King's there also as your number 2 as well. And as I say, he's also, I don't know if I said this, been linked with Palace as well at 33-1, if Glasner goes. So at the moment, you've got 1 yes and 4 no's. I've got 3 yeses and 2 no's.
I'm very picky. I've got high standards.
No, that's fair enough. Look, it's all about opinions, isn't it? And I'm kind of like, let's give these guys a chance, because, we brought Ruud van Nistelrooy in, he was shit. We brought Steve Cooper in, he was shit. Marty Cifuentes was shit. So why not? Let's go back to basics and look at promoting somebody up and coming. But next one up here, well, what do you say about this one, eh? Nigel Pearson. Now, we would all love him to get the job until the end of the season and help out Andy King, because they've worked together the same, at Bristol City. Role reversal, obviously. I think Nigel is big enough to say, yeah, I'll do that. He has been out of football since October 23, which is when he left Bristol. He had 131 games at Bristol, 32% win opportunity, 32% win percentage, also at Laven. Derby County, it wasn't his best time, was it? 47% at Leicester for the second time. And, of course, Watford, well, he went for the money, and he admits that himself, I think, allegedly. But I don't know about his health. I think Clibo said the other day, didn't he, about his health? If he was up for it, look, we've had him twice. Would you have him a third time?
For the short term, yes. But as the next permanent long-term manager, absolutely not. Even if he was fit and well, the only way I would appoint this guy, and it's the same situation as Chris Coleman for me, although I would prefer Nigel more to Kingy because he's worked longer with Kingy in terms of managerial sort of thing. So if he wanted to come in as a strong number 2 and they work together as one, I wouldn't say no till the end of the season. But as a long-term manager, this is a simple answer for me. It's a no.
Yeah, and I think as well, I agree with you there, and I wouldn't mind seeing him as the next director of football. Although, depending whether he's got the skills or not, I would love him to have a job of some description at the club, because he does like the club. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there like me that have met him when he's not been in ostrich mode. And, he's a
I absolutely love him. He's box office. He's absolute box office.
Oh, totally. And he's the nicest guy once you get him away from the ostrich. You may remember this.
Well, your head must be in the sand. Is your head in the sand?
It's not so.
Are you flexible enough to get your head in the sand?
Probably not.
My suspicion would be no.
Oh, God, I love it.
To be fair, he was asked a very, very stupid question. He actually said, you're either being very, very silly or you're being absolutely stupid.
Yeah. And look, he was trying to take the pressure off his players. He just isn't as good at that as Wenger or Mourinho were.
He wasn't.
I would love him at the club in some description, in some form or another. I don't think, again, like you say, football's moved on. And he's been out of it now for, 2.5 years. So it does change. And look, the biggest proof of that is Graham Potter. He came back at West Ham. He thought, oh, yeah, this is me. I'm coming in as the big I am. And the game had moved on and he hadn't. And he couldn't do it. So we actually agree on this one.
We do. Yes.
So there we go. Nigel, we love you, mate. But yes, till the end of the season as assistant to Kingy, help him out, but not full time. But I think his health wouldn't necessarily be up to it. But he's 14-1 to 25-1 at your bookmaker of choice. Right, up next. And I forgot to change the name here, but this is Mark Robbins.
He's silly.
Do you know what? I'm up till 2 in the fucking morning doing this stuff.
That is true. That is true.
And I'm as tired as anything. And this was just all going wrong later. I'm surprised I got as many right as I can. So this is Mark Robbins, 25-1. Everybody. He's obviously in a job at the moment, and he's in a job at a very he's doing all right at the club. Let me say that. Stoke are up there. They started off well. They've kind of dropped away a little bit recently. I mean, they're still sort of sat there. Actually, they're down to 11th. I thought they were higher than that. They've actually dropped to 11th. He has got the link with Leicester, but do we think that's a strong enough link to tear him away from Stoke, or could we afford him?
Well, I think if we approached him, he would take the job. I think he would take this job in a heartbeat because it's a bigger job than Stoke. He'll have more to work with in terms of player quality, in my opinion, because I think we have better players pound for pound than Stoke. Looking at his even his recent achievements, an FA Cup semi-final, which he should have won, to be fair. And they played Man U off the park that day. What he done at Cov, built them from League 2 up the way to the Championship, got them to a playoff final on a shoestring budget, may I add. That he didn't have a lot of money there. And to be fair, I was originally no on this appointment. He plays that progressive football. He's not too old-headed or anything. He has gone with the modern times sort of thing. And, that link to the club, I think the fans would get behind him. So for me, if he was appointed as the next permanent manager, it would be a yes.
Well, I'm going to agree with you, which won't be a surprise to anybody who follows me on this station because I wanted him instead of Marty Cifuentes, and I think we missed out there, to be honest with you, because at that point I don't think he was actually. Oh no, he was at Stoke from sort of last season. Yeah, he's been there 1 year, 29 days. Again, he's been linked with Palace at 28 to 33 to 1, and also Tottenham Hotspur as well, 33 to 1. But Leicester, as you can see there,
he's not that good. He's not that good. Let's just
No,
get it out there.
but these are the bookies, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
And
they
they'll
are,
take
yeah.
your money. They'll take your money if you said he's going to be the next England manager. But I like him. When you think what Coventry have been through, he took that team on. You know, he'd come from Rotherham and Barnsley, a bit of a Martin O'Neill bit there. Went to Coventry. He was there only for a year, then went to Huddersfield, Scunthorpe, and then came back. Second time at Coventry, he was there for 7 years. What he went through at that club, not only were they they had no home. You know, let's be honest with you. Would you like to go to Coventry to watch Leicester City play? Nobody would. And he was taking his team to Northampton, I think Birmingham, and yet he kept them going and he was getting them promoted. And again, he was whiskers away from an FA Cup and whiskers away from being in the Premier League. And I think, all right, history tells you that Frank Lampard's doing okay at Coventry, but I think again it was a bit of an awful sacking. I wanted this guy, like I say, with Martin Cifuentes. The problem with this one is the money. You know, is the compensation. I would say, fuck it. You know, let's just go and get him and worry about the consequences later.
I don't think it would be high though. I don't think it will be in the like the 2s or 3 millions. I think it'd be more in like the 700 to 1 million sort of compensation for this guy, maybe even less. Because Stoke are not going to, Stokes, they're not going to put a big price tag on his name, I don't think. But just going back to his Frank Lampard thing, he built the foundations for Frank Lampard, and this guy's the reason that they're in the position that this is his team. He's built this team, and he's the reason why they're in this position. So I think with the position that we're in at the minute, we need someone to build us, not necessarily take us to mid-table Premier League, but to build us, get us up, and then pass it on to the next manager sort of thing. Yeah. That's what I think it'd be perfect for, because I do think he would get promoted with us. So, yes, this is a big fat yes for me. 100%. I would take
a big fat yes than you. Mark, if you're watching, you've got 2 yeses. Now, I would say, go out and get him. Just go out and get him. I think, to me, he would be the one I want. Because if he can do, 40% win rate at Coventry over 387 games, in all the shit they were going through, his worst win rate at any club he's been at was 32%. Let's be honest with you, Ruud van Nistelrooy would have loved to have gone up that high. So, yeah, why haven't we gone out and got him? Clibo is saying there, hello, Clibo, again. Given our terrible managerial appointments, do we risk taking a punt on a young manager from League Two? Funny you should say that. We were talking about the proper Michael Scabula earlier, although he is League One. What about this guy? Dave Challoner, Stockport County. I know Scott, who's in here a lot, talks about him very, very nicely. I'm just looking where they are in League One at the moment. Are they in League One or League Two? League Two, I think.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, the League. Oh no, hang on. No, I think they're in League One as well.
Right. Okay. Where are they in League One?
I shall tell you in a second. They are 4th, 2 places behind Lincoln City.
Okay.
They have played 28, won 14, lost 7, drawn 7. Again, 40 goals scored, so he gets his team scoring, 34 conceded. So not quite as good at Lincoln, but then Lincoln are, in fairness, in second.
Yeah.
That's 6 points because Stockport are on the same points as Bolton in third. Stockport have lost one. I think they lost the most recent game out the last five. As you can see there, he's got a manager of the month award clasped strongly to his chest there. What do you think?
Well, again, I've done my research on this guy because obviously you spoke really highly about him on the last show that we did. Plays a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-2-1, so he loves a back three, and we've been crying out for a back three, so that's a tick for most fans. Very high intensity, proactive and aggressive pressing to limit opponent oppositions. Wants to score as many goals as possible, always on the front foot. So again, I can see why Top would go for this guy on paper. Would I back him? Yeah, I would. Would I give him a chance? Yeah, I would. But again, it comes back to Michael, what's his name? I can't pronounce his name.
Skubala.
Yeah, Michael Skubala. Can he make that jump from a small club like Stockport, no offence Stockport fans, to a big championship club like Leicester and deal with the pressure of getting us to the Premier League? I'm not too sure. But I don't know why. Don't ask me why. From what I'm reading, and a lot of Stockport fans love him, to be in a position where they're challenging for the playoffs or automatic promotion at Stockport, considering where they've been in the past, working wonders on a shoestring budget. I am leaning more towards yes on this one, more so than the Lincoln manager.
I would put this in the same bracket as the Lincoln manager, and in what Clibo just said is he's worth a punt. You know, we go for a name, we pay millions and millions of pounds to get, on wages to get these people in, and then they're no better than what we've had before. And like I say, Marty Cifuentes, oh, look, he wants to be here. He's willing to pay his half his money. Fair play. That was a nice gesture. And he obviously did want to be here, but he was still as shit as Ruud van Nistelrooy was.
I've noticed when managers do that, they know that, I'm in a big job here. I might need a bit of time. So let's try and get the fans on side. Buy me some time, sort of thing. I think he was very clever in doing that, but obviously it didn't last very long with certain fans. So I don't want a manager like that. I want a manager to come in and say, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to get to work. I don't want you to come round applauding the fans before a game. I don't want to see it. I just want you to do your fucking talking on the touchline.
Having fish and chips down a local pub that he knows is full of Leicester fans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Now, look, again, Colwyn Bay, AFC failed near Blackpool. Hartlepool, when he was at Hartlepool, he took them up to League Two from the non-league. He's been at Stockport 4 years, 2 months, and 28 days. As somebody just said, he does this on a shoestring budget, and no matter how big we think we all are at the moment, we've got that shoestring budget. So if you can do it there's no reason why we can't do it here. And to be honest with you,
players to work with as well. He'll have better players to work with.
Yes, yeah. 51 win percent at Stockport, 49 at Hartlepool, 54 at Fylde. He's learning his career, isn't he?
He is, yeah. And to have a 51 win percent ratio since 2021 at Stockport, that's actually really impressive. And I know it's lower league, but this is where modern football's going. They're going for these sort of managers, and they're proven to be like working wonders and stuff. So I wouldn't be against this guy. No, he's not my first. He's nowhere near my first choice. But
we know that.
I would take the punt. I would take the punt.
Yeah, and like Ronald said, we actually got Brian Little from Darlington.
Yes,
and I agree with you. He does get a tick from me as well. And let's be honest with you, we've got to accept that there's only probably about 20 places between us and his team at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So look, those are the main ones. There's a lot more. And some of them we're going to come on to in a second. I want to ask you at this point, though, Reece, we are giving, and I know rolling contracts wouldn't work in football because managers want. I don't know why it's just so different in football than anywhere else or sport generally, because you should say to the manager, you're on a trial period. You probably had to, when you started your current job, you probably had to do a trial period. 6 months or whatever it was, probation. Well, why can't managers in football clubs do that? Right, we'll see where you are at the end of 6 months, or we'll give you a rolling contract so we can, at the end of each year. All right, the risk is there, you lose them, but let's be honest with you, if you're going to lose a manager, you're going to lose them anyway, whether it's a rolling contract or not. What I would say, though, whoever gets the job next, just give them a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, even if they plan to have him long term and say, right, we want you here long term, still give him that 2-year contract. Have that like backup sort of thing. Managers like Dave Chancellor and the Lincoln manager, they would take a 2-year contract at Leicester because it'll be their biggest job yet, and they'd be happy to get the job. So have that security, because you never know in football. It could not work out. You can say, yeah, we're going to have this plan for you. We're going to do this. But it might not work. So have that security, because we're paying out fucking millions and millions in compensation for these managers, and we're getting ripped off every single time. So we need to start thinking logically as a club. Right, we're only doing 2-year contracts now. If you do well, you get another 2-year contract. If you do well, then you get another 2-year contract. That's how it should be. But unfortunately, football is so money orientated nowadays.
It is, but I agree with you 100% there. I don't know who Dave Chancellor was. He might be related to Frank, Foreign Secretary. I've no idea, or Bertie, Prime Minister. But Dave Chancellor, apparently he'd be good with the money. Sorry, mate. Right, gonna look. You can't get away with anything with me. You know that. Right, we're going to have a look at some of these now. Like I said, there's so many, but we'd be here till doomsday if we did them all. So I'm just going to go through. We'll go through these one by one. So Gus Poyet, who is currently at Greece, which is why he is in yellow. He is 11-2 for some unknown reason. I'm just trying to find him now. He's right up at the top here. He's actually 4th in the list. 11-2. He's only with 2 of the things. He's been 4 years as manager of Greece, and he's got it says a 0% win rate here, but it also says he's played no games, so that's obviously not up to date. Right. Before that, he's had a bit of before that it was Universidad Católica, Bordeaux before that, Shanghai Shenhui before that, Real Betis, AEK Athens, and then before that it was Sunderland and Brighton. I'm not convinced about this one at all.
No, he had an early period where he done well at Brighton and Sunderland, and he done really good things for them. But ultimately, I don't think he'd be a fit here at all. I like him. I think he's got a good personality. I think he'd handle the big egos really well. But in terms of what we're trying to build and what we need to do, I think he's completely the opposite to what we need. So no, I'm sorry.
Agree 100% with you, mate. I nearly fell off my chair when I saw how high up he was on the list, and it was even on there. Vitor, and I always have difficulty saying it. Vitor Pereira.
Vitor Pereira.
What? After what he was doing at Wolves, surely not. I'm sorry. Look, he was only at Wolves for 2 months and 18 days.
2 months? He was there longer than that.
It says 2 months. Oh, sorry. No, you're right. Sorry, I've clicked on Wolves rather than clicking on him. Let me get this one up here. 10 months, 14 days he was there. 6-1 across the board. And surprisingly, he's been linked with Crystal Palace, who hasn't. I'm sorry, he kept them up, Wolves, obviously, when we went down. But it was a case of only just, to be honest with you, wasn't it? You know, he came in and he did okay. And then obviously this season, what, you know?
Well, I mean, I'm going to have some sympathy. I'm going to have some sympathy here for him. They sold big players in this summer transfer window and they gave him fuck all in resources to strengthen that squad. So I do have some sympathy for him there. And I think Wolves owners let him down big time. I wouldn't mind this appointment at all because I think he needs to rebuild his stock. I think if you take the level down to the Championship at a decent sized club like Leicester, he's free. He plays that brand of football we want to play. He's got experience in dealing with young players, especially at Porto. He brought through a lot of young players at Porto, and he's got a big reputation. I know Porto's a massive club, and we're nowhere near the size of that, but I wouldn't say no to this appointment because, again, he needs to rebuild his stock, and I think he's got the personality to deal with ego players. I mean, look how he was with Mateus Cunha at Wolves. Dealt with him really well, but he managed to get the best out of him to help keep Wolves stay up. Plays a back three. So again, another formation we're crying out for to be he's a bit more defensive orientated than he is attacking wise, but he does want to, press forward and get goals. I wouldn't say no to him. I wouldn't.
Okay. That's a tick from you. It's a no from me. Because if he's struggling like he has been at Wolves because they've sold the best players, what's he going to do at Leicester? who you could argue are worse than Wolves are.
To be fair, it's a few levels down the Championship, so it's completely different to the Premier League. But I understand your thinking, but I won't worry about that. I like him.
I mean, he's had spells in Portugal, as you say, he's Portuguese, Turkey, Germany, Greece, China, and Saudi Arabia. At Porto, he won back-to-back league and cup doubles, while he's also lifted silverware at Olympiacos, Shanghai SIPG, and Al Ahly at Saudi Arabia. It's a no for me because I don't think he's the fit we're looking for. But you're giving him a yes, so yeah, he gets a yes. Now, Mr. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, most recently at Besiktas, and I can't get my teeth in today. Besiktas, thank you very much. When somebody says it and gives me a clue, I'm away. Your thoughts on this one?
Big name. Obviously, he's free. Not for me. No, I know. Obviously, a lot of people say he's done a great job at Man United. He got them second in the league. They were just that couple of levels down from winning the league. But obviously, that was with good players. Not for me. No, I think if the club go for him, they're looking at we need a big name in charge. Someone that can attract good players here. He's got respect in the game. He was a fantastic striker in his heyday. So he might think players might want to come and play for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I think at the bigger picture, not for me. No.
He went in August 2025. He left Besiktas, or wherever you pronounce it, the Turkish club, with a 52% win record, which, and he signed Ndidi. Obviously, he was in charge at that point. At Manchester United, he won 90 of his 164 games, which was a 55%. At Molde, he was doing well, which is obviously why Man United took him. Now, here's where it gets worrying. At Cardiff, he had only a 30% win rate. He lost almost double what he won while he was at Cardiff, and he couldn't keep them up, could he? So I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. I don't think he's what we need at the moment. Well, not saying not we need, he's the wrong fit, I think, is the way to say it, isn't
so, yeah.
So we've gone to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and next on the list, it's Lee Carsley, 17-2 to 14-1. I know where you're going with this one because he got mentioned the other night.
Yes, I like him. I know he's an international manager, but in terms of the idea that I think we should go for, I think behind Andy King, he would be my second choice for what we need to go for in terms of blood in the youth, making them play a certain style of football, but bringing him up. He's got history of winning back-to-back trophies with England under 21s. I know you're going to mention Steve Cooper did, but I think this guy's a better manager than Steve Cooper. I think he's got the tactical nous. He's very intelligent. He's pragmatic when he needs to be. I think if it's just the compensation, I think it will cost a lot to get him out of England. Do I think he would take the job? Yes, I do. I think it would be a good start for his career path as a club manager. But I think for money reasons and for compensation, I'm going to have to say no. If he was a free agent, he'd be my number one choice.
So basically, if we appointed him, you would be, if it was possible, you would appoint him.
Yes. I think it'd be brilliant for us.
Right. I'm going to go totally against you there because of what we said right at the start of the show. Yes, you mentioned Steve Cooper, who we brought in and said, he'll be brilliant with the youth. I mean, look, he took England under 17 to the World Cup final and won it, blah, blah, blah. And then he went out and bought Jordan Ayew and Danny to go for Reed, two of the oldest players of the club. So, the fact that he's with the youngsters doesn't really impress me at all. I would also say to you, a certain Mr. Peter Taylor was England under 21 manager at some point before he came to us. I rest my case. And Gareth Southgate, we've said, I mean, look, he's playing with the best young players around, and we've got them. And I'm with Clibbo here. Yeah, for me, no, I presume that's he's talking about Lee Carsley now. No. For me, it is a big fat. But you've said
Could you see why we would appoint him though?
No.
What? Why not? Because we've got a multi-million-pound training facility for bleed, and that was the whole purpose of. He was also England. Yes, he was. Yeah, and they obviously there's great players for England, but I think if we want to go this idea of bleeding these young talents, I think he's one of the perfect options for doing that. But obviously, you don't think he is, and I understand your concerns with him being an international manager, but I understand. But I'm going to go against you and Uncle Clibbo, and I'll stick to me guns. I think he'd be a great fit for us.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
It's again, like I said, opinions. I'm completely the opposite to you. I couldn't be, I couldn't be further away from you if I flew to Australia.
Okay.
I mean, if he was that good, why wasn't he appointed like Gareth Southgate was from the under-21s to the full team? He had a bit of time with them, but then obviously, the German came in. I get why people would want him. So let me say that. I understand why people would want him.
Yeah.
But we've been there with Peter Taylor. We've been there with Steve Cooper, especially when you come to people saying, he's good with the youngsters. So was Steve Cooper. And yes, he won back-to-back trophies, but then so did Serena Weigman. Should we give her the job? I mean? I'm being facetious now, obviously.
Yeah.
But no, for me, it would be a no. But for you,
yes,
you go. Now, please. I have a feeling that you are quite in favour of this one. I cannot understand why anybody would even consider this guy stepping through the front doors at the King Power.
Well,
away team.
Well, I mean, I understand you thinking. He is seen as a bit of a bigger name than some of the people on the list, and I didn't know he had the Wolfsburg job because I said on the other show he's my first choice. I think he offers arrogance to deal with big egos. I think he offers young, his joke appointment. Uncle Clibo's not on board with it. I get it. I understand why. But I think in terms of box ticking for me, I think he'd handle the big egos really well. He's got past with youth. He needs to rebuild his stock in the English game. He plays front-footed attacking football. I would have said he was free, but I didn't know he had the Wolfsburg job, so he has been chucked off my number one list. He's not my number one anymore because he's got the Wolfsburg job, and that would be ridiculous amounts of money that we'd have to pay. So purely on that basis, footballing reasons, I would take him, but for money reasons, it's an overriding no. I can't believe I'm saying that.
But we are, for the purpose of this survey this evening, we're taking money out and contract. It's a case of, would you want him if we could get him?
Yes, 100%. I think it'd be a great appointment.
Clibo, can you do me a favour? Next time you meet up with Reece, will you clip him around the fucking ear for me, please?
Okay, why would you not want him? Why would you not want him?
Well, let me just say one word: Southampton.
No. Do you know what? I'm sick of hearing this. Oh, he's from Southampton, and he done a great job at Southampton.
What did he win at Southampton?
Well, who has won anything at Southampton? So he got them to an FA Cup semi-final, mate.
Well, yes, so did Claude Puel. He got him. Claude Puel got them to a final, didn't he?
Well, yeah, exactly. But I think Claude Puel had better play.
Everybody hated him for that. I'm sorry.
I think Claude Puel. No, I understand. I get it, but I think this is where.
Glad you get me, because in other cases I've said I understand where you're coming from. I absolutely have no idea where you're coming from with this one. I do not see anything.
Well, I mean, take out the Southampton thing. Just because we beat them 9-0, why would you not take them?
So did a very poor Man United team, or ish poor. They're not as bad as they are.
I think you're going over the top now a little bit.
He didn't really do much with Southampton, did he?
Yeah, but who has done a lot with Southampton? He kept them a stable Premier League club.
He knew what he was doing when he sold us Vestergaard and Bertrand.
Exactly. He can get a shit player out the door. No, I understand.
In fairness, I'll give you that one, mate. That is a very good point. Maybe if we got him in next week, Winks would be gone the day after.
Exactly.
It's clearly not a good fit, Reece. Come on. I think you two will be continuing this argument when this show finishes. Look,
probably, yeah.
For me, it's a big fat 0, but for you, okay. So yes. That's fair enough. Fair enough. So far you have got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've gone for 6 gentlemen that you would be happy with. That's Andy King, Mark Robbins, Dave Challoner, Vitor Pereira, Lee Carsley, and the bloke we've just been talking about. I've gone for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I've only gone for 5. I went for King, Rowett, Skabula, Robbins, and Challoner. I've not gone for any of them. You've gone for 3 on that list. I haven't gone for any of those at all. So you've gone for 1 more. And just to say, we're not going to talk about these people, but I just want to give you some other names that were on here as we go down. Craig Bellamy, Alan Sheehan. I don't think he's coming back, is he? Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Ruud van Nistelrooy is a 22-1 outsider bet if you fancy that.
Oh, dear. Oh, I think Chris has froze there, guys. Right. Okay. Okay, right. let's carry on the show. I don't know what's happened to Chris here, guys. Let's get the odds up. Let's get the odds checker for the Leicester manager. Get your comments in, guys. Get your thoughts in on who you would want. Oh, you're back.
I did warn you right at the start, didn't I? It's been one of those.
Yeah, that's
days.
fine. I did. Yeah, that's fine. You're back.
John O'Shea, Robbie Keane. Now 11-1, between 11-1 and 33-1. Ange Postecoglou.
No. Fuck off. Next.
And 11.
I do not want that arrogant, vile pig at my fucking club.
He speaks very highly of you. Stop sitting on that, friends. Let us know how you really feel.
Rubbish.
11-1 and 33-1. Also is Stephen Gerrard.
No.
Ryan Mason. Oh my God. And I think we're going to go down the list. Will Still, Jesse Marsh.
No.
Wayne Rooney's there.
No.
One who hasn't come up on here, which I saw in the Leicestershire Live. I love the fact that Leicestershire Live, have you seen what they've called their latest pay-only chat? They've called it Fox's Forum. I wonder where they got that idea from. I wonder.
Yeah, I wonder.
But on there, a lot of people were saying, wait for Michael Carrick.
Well, I mean, if he weren't doing the Man United job, he would be on my yes list because, I think he's still got a lot to learn. I think he's willing to learn. Plays a progressive football, but obviously he's got the Man United job now, so there's no chance we're going to be able to pry him away from that. And he might even get that full time. We don't know, but I would have had him on my list. So I like him. I like Michael Carrick.
Tony Pulis is 33-1 to 50-1. Same as Dave Challoner, actually. Steve Bruce.
No.
Michael Carrick is 40-1 out of interest, but he might be tempted to come back into a permanent manager's position. Now, I gave you a wild card, if you remember, and said, right, you come with your number one choice that you would love. And we haven't mentioned him yet because obviously that would be pointless. This guy is rated at 25-1 to 33-1. He is, though, currently employed. But like we said, we're looking at this as if money is no object. And he has been at his current club for 1 year, 1 month, and 6 days. I say 25 up to 33-1. He's also linked to Spurs as well. But here you go, sir.
Yes.
Tell me about Carlos Corberán.
Well, I think he offers all aspects to what we're looking for as a club. I think he's a young, progressive coach.
Sorry, can I just stop you there? Sorry, Reece. I hadn't seen this. Is Clibbo being seriously saying, yes, Big Ange? Is he being serious?
Well, I don't get it. I don't get his love for Big Ange. I think it would be a car crash of an appointment.
I apologise for interrupting, mate. I thought you might have put it in as a joke. I thought you might have just put it in as a joke. But Reece's man crush. Go on, tell us about your man crush. You don't mean, surely, Clibbo, you don't mean this, do you? Sorry, mate.
That's all right.
I'm a child. I know I'm a child. I do not. Start again, sorry. Because I think I'm going to agree with you.
So for me, this for me would be my absolute number one pick for the job. I think he offers all aspects what we're looking for. He's a young progressive coach. He's been around the block a little bit. He's still very young in the game. What he done at West Brom for me worked wonders. And now, since he's left, they're struggling like mad. He was on a shoestring budget. He had to bring through a lot of academy players, plays progressive football. And the reason why he's my wild card, I think he's going to get sacked very soon at Valencia because he's not doing very well there. But I would take this man in an absolute heartbeat. I think he'd be a perfect appointment for the kids coming through, for some certain players that are here. I think he's got the arrogance, the confidence, and the characteristics to deal with the fan base. And if you remember both times that we played them under Enzo Maresca, they battered us both games. I don't know how we won them, but in terms of possession and dominating us, they were all over us in both games. And I thought if we
won thanks to Hamza Chowdhury on the goal line.
We did, yes. We won both the games 2-1. But I remember watching that with my godfather, actually, and I thought, these are a good side, these are. They're on a shoestring budget, and he never got backed. And I think if he'd have got backed at West Brom, they'd be in the Premier League right now. I honestly would believe that. So this is my wild card because I think he's going to get sacked very soon, and I am begging the club, go and get this man.
Why did he leave West Brom? Because he went from West Brom Christmas Eve, didn't he? He wasn't sacked at West Brom, was he? No,
I think I've got a couple of West Brom fans, and they've got a bit of inside knowledge at the club. He was getting fed up that, he was working on a shoestring budget. He wanted that extra little bit of backing to get them into the Premier League or push for automatics, and they won't give it him. So I think he got fed up. So he's not afraid to walk away from a job. So it just shows it's not about money for him, which is another thing. Finally, Uncle Clibbo agrees with me. He'd take him now because he was so against us appointing Carlos Corberán. But at the time, I can understand Uncle Clibbo's reasons because we were a Premier League club. And I think with the players that we had at the time, he wouldn't be a good fit. But I think now he is the perfect fit for what we need right now.
I think when he was at West Brom, it was a bit like a Sam Allardyce at Bolton. I mean, Sam Allardyce at Bolton, he was Bolton through and through, and he wanted that extra bit of money in one of the transfer windows, and he'd have got Bolton into Europe. And I think this was what probably was with Corberán, is that he wanted, like you say, that extra little bit of money to say, come on, let's take this club where I think I can take it. And he didn't get it, basically. And it says here, on 24th of December 24, Corberán signed a 3-year deal to become the head coach of his hometown and boyhood club, La Liga side Valencia. So there was that pull as well for him. Taking over with the club in relegation places, he oversaw an upturn in form and led them to an eventual 12th place finish in La Liga. But like you say, this season they are on a poor run of form. They are sat in 15th out of 20, but they are only 2 points ahead of Mallorca, who are in 18th place. So, they're not, and they have played 21, won 5, drawn 8, lost 6. And they've conceded 33 while scoring 22. I can remember that we wanted him, and I can't remember who it was. It was probably when we got Enzo, that a lot of people were going mad about him then.
Yes. Yeah. I think the reason why he's struggling at Valencia, Spain's a very slow-paced sort of possession-based sort of football. This guy's high-intensity, quick turnover football. And I always thought, with the way he plays his football, I followed him from when he was at Huddersfield. So I thought, I like the look of this guy. He was a good assistant manager as well. So I thought him going there, I think it wouldn't have been a good fit. And I'm not trying to be big-headed. It hasn't been a good fit so far because Valencia are a massive club in Spain. I'm also seeing Uncle Clibbo in the chat saying he ain't going to get money here, Reece. I understand that. He probably ain't going to get money straight away. But I think with the project that we've got, with the multi-million-pound training facility we've got, and with the talented kids we've got, the more so talented kids than he had at West Brom, I think he would be tempted to come back to English football and be our long-term manager. So that is my case for him.
Do you think he'd be a good fit with King as a number 2?
Yes. I think he would keep him around 100% to say, right, what's this kid like? What's his strengths? What's his weaknesses? What can I do to work with him? And also, he plays 4-4-2.
I'm just about to Google that to see what he did.
4-4-2, but it's a very flexible 4-4-2 with the way he plays is 4-4-2. So that's got to be a tick for you, Chris. It's got to be a tick.
Hey, oh look, my team I picked earlier tomorrow was a 3-5-2. So it's just wasn't a. Oh, I do look at 4-4-2s, but I just don't think we've got the players at the moment to fit into that.
No, I don't think we have, but I think this guy would find a way to do it. I really do.
Yeah.
I think he's a fantastic coach.
Yeah, I mean he's only 42. Although it does say on Transfer Market that his preferred formation is 4-2-3-1, but I don't know whether that's true or not.
Okay.
I'm going to say, that I actually agree with you.
Yes.
I would not be unhappy if he was our next manager. Would we have to pay a bit of money to Valencia? Of course we would. Look, I said let's pay what it takes to get Robbins in. I'll be quite happy to say let's pay what it takes to get this guy in as well. Very, very quickly, Thomas Frank is looking like he's losing his job at Tottenham. I would take him for what he achieved at Brentford.
That's what he could be. No. I
was about to say, I think he's gone past us now.
Yes, I agree.
It's like Graham Potter. He was never going to come to us in the second tier, and I don't think Frank would. I think he'd have a lot of offers from other clubs. So yeah. So we finish on a high note. In the fact that we both agree on something. So that's made this notable. Whoops, I don't know what happened there. But mate, thank you I think I enjoyed that. I did. Nice to sort of, we don't have to agree all the time, but look, football's all about opinions and it's all about disagreeing, and we do tend to disagree a fair bit. That's it. But it's nice that you do it nicely, isn't it? So
exactly. That's how it should be.
Yes, definitely. No shows next week, everybody, because I'm in Lanzarote. I'm actually going to go and watch Lanzarote play. It's the first time in 5 visits that this is the 5th visit. The first time in 5 visits that Lanzarote are actually playing at home when I'm there. Every time we've gone, we've been playing. They're like, "Oh, shall we go and watch?" Yeah, let's go and watch Lanzarote because it's football. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of be interesting to go. Every time we go, they're bloody away somewhere. And of course, with Lanzarote, it means flying because they're the only team on the thing. I'm clipping the Martin started the good times clip.
His head's gone through the roof, bless him. It's the only victory.
If you want to send me a bit of money, I can do that for you. Or Reece, if you want to send me a bit of money for me not to do that, we'll have a bidding war. Look, Reece, thank you very, very much for being on.
Pleasure.
Thank you to everybody in the chat. Really, really enjoyed it. I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Do what it says at the bottom. Click all the buttons. You know what they do. And if you've been listening via your favourite podcast platform, thank you very much indeed. And I'll see you for the watch along tomorrow, guys. Take care. Thanks, Reece. All the best, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.